What's going on, y'all? It's two sailors in a drink.
You know what it is.
I'm your boy Bev.
It's your boy Matt, man. We
back
finna
at
do
it.
this thing and make it do what it do. We back.
What we got? What we got?
Man, what we ain't got.
Man,
It's more like it.
I don't know. You was just saying something about goddamn gig lines and
Man,
stuff. So where we at
listen,
with that? For the sailors and stuff, for the
So
for
we
the
gonna go
military
ahead and-
personnel who know
we gonna go
your
ahead and
shirt gotta
jump
line
into
up
it.
with your britches.
Yeah, man. And belt and everything too, man. Don't go out there
Yeah.
looking all unsat and everything. If
straight
y'all don't know
line.
what unsat mean.
Unsatisfactory
You know
ass
what I'm saying?
motherfucker.
Get your ass up in here, do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Get your ass in her rap. You know what I'm saying? But no. So I went to, my uncle passed.
My condolences.
Last week. Appreciate you. Well, not last week, but week before last.
Okay.
So we had the funeral on Monday. Well, man, went there. They was doing the 3 volley shot for him because he did 20 years. He retired in the military and everything. He was in the Army. But man, I'm psyched. You know, I'm like, anytime you get a chance to see a military funeral, you kind of like, all right, let's see what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
And it kind of
gun salute, all that. You trying to see how
kind
it
of
goes.
kicked me back to, like, all right, back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it was, but I think this that, drilled into your mind type shit. So my ass done went dead as soon as they started marching. My ass went dead into parade rest. I ain't do attention because I ain't finna lock my knees and fall out of this motherfucker. It was hot as motherfucker out there. I ain't finna fall in them. They ain't doing all that
Did they
shit.
have someone singing cadence when they was marching?
No.
Well, I mean,
They
we was
was
only
just
doing that for boot
true,
camp, though. For
but
real.
then they was doing. I wanted to, but I ain't do it. I could have been out there and said it, but I ain't gonna say it because I was the A-Rock. But
no, that's just a motherfucker singing.
That's it.
Motherfuckers a march
Yes.
on step.
on step,
On step.
I was
that
highly-
left, right ain't just what you saying.
right.
The
I
motherfucker
was
got to sing
highly
that
rated,
shit.
highly faded, and getting X-rated when I did it. But anyway,
Shit
I ain't getting no
motivated.
X-rated. Y'all edit that out. But
Oh, shit.
but nah. So what we did was what they did, they marched. So the march was okay and everything. I wasn't really paying attention to them. So they got over there and they did like ready and aim. So they got down and picked up the rifle.
Did their thing.
Did everything and everything. They did that part right. Bruh, they did the first shot.
Okay.
Pow. They did the second one.
You know
Pow.
what happened?
Bruh, the third one, before my man got, I don't even think he was saying fire, but he was saying something to let everybody know to shoot. But my man hit ready, and then they said, it was like, ready. Bah, 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 bah. I'm like, what the?
Oh, they was all off key. with it.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, it's supposed to be a synchronized shot. I mean, it ain't that hard. Everybody pointing at the same time.
and it seemed like it just went downhill from there. Like they went from, they did that, and then they went down. They placed the gun down. When they placed the gun down, one of them dropped it, placing it down. Mind you, now my man
Shit,
is
oh,
like
it's a
this
live
far
weapon.
from
Hold
the,
up.
like this far from the ground, and I'm like, what? And everybody was like, ooh.
Well, look, I mean, I guess the lesson of this is color guard of the Army. What the fuck is y'all doing?
Right.
Y'all gotta get that shit together, bro.
Exactly.
Get that together.
So they walked back by. So I immediately went into recruiter mode or what it was RDC mode. I went into RDC mode, recruit division commander. I went into RDC mode and I was like, unsat. Your shoes ain't shine. Your gig line
They ain't even had
up.
core frames
I was
on,
like,
though.
one of them had core frames on.
Oh man, they
One.
got them was the reservists.
Right.
They had the
to
reservists.
be.
Those wasn't no
I was like, they
active
had
duty
on the
people, man.
dusty
Those was the
browns,
reservists.
and they was just as dusty as they was in the
Oh,
color.
man,
that's
that's
all I got to
crazy.
say. They was dusty as they was in
Look,
their
one of the
wrinkled
first things-
uniform, everything. I said, what did y'all do? I said, I went and hit one of the lines that they always used to say. You know it. He do it.
Which one? I mean, it's a lot.
Shipmate. You iron your shit? You iron your shit with a rock this morning?
So they gig line must have looked like
Bruh.
bacon in what you telling me. They
Bruh.
ain't had nothing pressed. They ain't go to the cleaners. They had nothing.
They gig line
They dress
might as-
blues as fuck.
They gig line might as well been a skid line because it was shitty. That's all I got to say. It was
skid
not. Bro, listen. I don't
Well,
know
I'm
what it
sorry
was.
for
I don't
that
know if they.
experience.
Right.
That don't sound like it was a good experience.
It
with
was
the color
not.
guard
Not
dog.
not that part. Like I said, everything else was straight. And then even with my man pop locking with the flag when he presented and everything, he ain't pop
fucked
locked
that
like
up.
he was. Yeah, he fucked that up.
He ain't fucked it up.
Yeah, he fucked that up. Yeah, so I was like, hey, it is what it is. I was like, Army used to mean something, but I guess
military ain't
not.
the same no more.
It ain't. That's it. Well,
they go through boot camp with cell phones and access and stuff.
Right. That's why I said, well, here's your military. Here's your sign.
I mean,
but hey, that's my military thing. Look, man, if you gonna do it right. Get in there, do what you're supposed to do, man. Shit, I mean, we did it.
In the Army, you know, they had some stuff happen recently with some people get caught up stealing some stuff, a whole theft conspiracy of military equipment. But, you know, I ain't necessarily surprised by that because, you know, goddamn, people been stealing stuff since the beginning of the time in the military. You know, them extra supplies go a long way.
Right.
I know some people making an extra fucking bucks, making about extra money.
Right. How about you make one of them white only pads?
Equipment, them leftovers.
In the Army pads.
You know what I mean? Nah, man, look, I know some SKs that was making some things disappear. Ooh. You know, you had the right money in your pocket, you could get you just about anything you wanted.
You can.
Military grade don't necessarily mean it's good.
It don't. And you can ask me that about the food because it was like, military grade food.
Good.
Yeah.
But shit.